Hello, hello. Whoa, what happened to my camera? That's a little off. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Columbus Day, everyone. Sorry, last week I thought the stocks were going to be closed today. They are open. Cash bond market is closed though. We should have it. I agree. We're Sterling posted somewhere in here. Market should be closed for Columbus Day. I agree. I agree. Good morning, John. Good morning, Mark. Good morning. Rick says, good morning to the VIX. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Kevin. Sterling with important news, except please, Sterling, come on. Really? That's important? Swifty swoon? Taylor Swift announces new programming for Disney? Well, maybe we should just go out and buy Disney. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What else do we have going on? We had Besant talking. Uh, Good morning, Odie Green. He knew buyers would be in full force pre-market. Good morning, Jacob. Hey, Christoph. Good morning, Ted. What's going on? 100% tariff on China. Oh no, wait, don't worry about it. Yeah, we're again, and we had a lot of liquidation in crypto, but see, people got wiped out, with the crypto stuff. But now it's already. See, I knew it was going to bounce. I'll use more leverage. I'll get whatever money I can. I'll put it on credit cards. I'm just going to go back in crypto. You using leverage? This bounce. This is what solidifies people. This because we're still over. I mean, boy, what was the pullback on Friday was nothing. Yeah, and we had some momentum downside, but in the overall scheme of things, nothing. The people it wipes out are the people in who have a lot of crypto, or leverage, which is why it hit crypto the hardest. But people are levering up in stocks too. And again, this is going to be if it's buy the dip, it's just going to keep rewarding bad behavior. And that's when we do start getting the dips that don't bounce much and people just keep going all in on the dips, and then you get the next dip and the next dip. That's what wipes everybody out. You watch, and at some point we will get that because a market does not go up in perpetuity. Good morning, Roll Palms. Good morning, Anissa. MLTX. I've never looked at it. Hey, Daniel. Hello, Charles. So, what do we got going on this week? Well, nothing today because of Columbus Day. We have Paulson, I guess, speaking. We had already, you'll get stuff out of the administration. But normal stuff, no. Tomorrow, Business Optimism Index, Powell speaking, Waller, Collins speaking. I mean, we got a lot. We got to get the Fed speaking before the quiet period. Because again, why do we have to keep hearing what they say all the time? Yeah, we'll go over the secondary reaction levels. These are the minor ones. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. They're offering 50 times leverage. 50 times leverage. Please do not trade with 50 times leverage. Please. Uh Again, Fed speak on Wednesday. Philly Fed index. By the way, before I forget, they did announce that they're going to be releasing the CPI. I think next week, not this week. So they are going to because they actually need it for inflation date and to mark things like Social Security to inflation. So we'll see about that. That's the only number that's going to be released unless the shutdown is over. We got, geez, how much Fed speak can we get this week? This is insane. Again, the crude numbers are on Thursday because of the holiday today. And here's all the stuff we don't get unless the shutdown's done. So Friday, again, more Fed speak, and that's about it. So unless the shutdown ends, we have very limited data still. It's buy it all besides consumer defensive this morning. It's Russian, buy it all. Even though who knows what's going on with the 100% tariffs? We're going to have 100% tariffs. Well, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? So, Coming in, we got basic materials, technology, consumer cyclical, industrials leading. We have consumer defensive is the only thing negative today. Fed watch still has 96% for the cut at the end of October. Fear and greed dropped to fear. Didn't even make it to extreme fear. This, I mean, in the scheme of things, here's your mark. I mean, like you get the drop, and that's doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. A lot of things in fear except put and call options and greed. Extreme fear, extreme fear. I wouldn't call a lot of this extreme fear. Maybe it is because people are just that used to everything going up. Schiller PE back to 39. Earnings this week. Sorry, this is a little blurry. It's the capture I did. I'll have to try to recapture it. Tomorrow we got BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Wells Fargo, Johnson Johnson, Albertsons. After close, not much. Wednesday, we got ASML, Dollar Tree, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. After close, we got United. This is probably the biggest thing. Thursday, we got TSMC. That's the biggest thing out there. Infosys, Schwab, Travelers, after close, Interactive Brokers, CSX. Okay, most of the key stuff is before the open this week. Friday, Ally, American Express. That's what it looks like this week. Here's your for the month, because we've kicked off for about the next 30 days, I should call it. Next week, just to outline stuff, we got Netflix, Verizon, we got Tesla next week, Intel. That one will be interesting. That's about it. Amazon's not out. They've announced yet, at least the time this printed, but the following week at the end of October, we've got Meta, Alphabet, Microsoft, Apple right before Halloween. Oil is on Halloween. Some of the oil stuff is on Halloween. At least Chevron is. Where's Exxon? I don't see Exxon on here yet. So that's the big areas last week of, especially the last week of October. Some spill over with AMD into the first week of November. But that's where we sit right there. What else do we have? Volume overnight on MNQ was 3 times normal. Again, if this just rewards the constant dip buy, it's gonna be interesting. Right now, here's exactly what I'm watching. We have the gap up. So if we do roll over, it's going to be the gap open price, 66.32 to keep an eye on. We are between the 50% and the 62% harmonic. We are against the 4-hour rotation zone. What's the key level I'm going to be watching? 67.10. First on a 4-hour basis to confirm any bounce close. Then on a daily. Okay. We could see a little reaction here since we are against the rotation zone, but then again on the rally, 67.45 roughly to 67.54 is my first target area if we can sustain a bounce. Minor 67.70 and then 67.78 is the 87.5 harmonic. Very, very key support level coming in between the gap up open and these lows put in just a while ago. So 66.32 to 66.55. If we start breaking 66.32, I'll then have to shift to downward. Other than that, I'm still watching for the bounce. Where do we come down to on the daily? We hit the 50. And we ticked off the 50% retracement. Did not close below the 62.5. We came into, remember, the big overall buy zone, and we're bouncing up. Now, going to be interesting to see if it can take out the highs or not. Probably it'll take, the tariffs are off. The potential new 100% tariffs are off. Yeah, then we'll probably retest the highs. I find it interesting that gold rallies on tariffs news and continues rallying today. Christoph, gold is in euphoria mode. It's going to go no matter what. Until it doesn't. Gold is just buy it. Every excuse will be buy gold. It doesn't matter if it should be bearish on gold. It doesn't matter if it should be bullish on gold. It's going to be buy gold. We're in the bubble stage of gold. We're in the bubble stage now of gold, which is just buy it all. Remember, gold normally trades inverse to dollar index. Dollar index, yeah, we had a pullback on Friday, but dollar's bouncing again today. It's good. Buy gold no matter what. So, NASDAQ, here's the key levels. Again, we already ticked off the 62.5, but no close above it. On a pullback, it's the gap open is a major key price, which is a 24,542. There's a minor first level support is around 24,740. More significant support is 24,633. I'll be watching 24,930, 931. Then we're still at the other side of the rotation zone, 25.06, just above 25K. But if we can sustain a close above 62.5, especially on the daily, next target's 25.085 and 25.239. All right. I don't think we're going to crash to new lows, but I do have the harmonics on there if we did. It would take a lot to really take out Friday's lows, at least today. The Dow against the 4-hour rotation zone, not even to the 50%. So if we start taking out 46,260, 46,350, 360 area against the 4-hour rotation zone, and then 46.6 roughly on a closing basis. Dow's been actually a lot weaker. So that's where we sit. If the Dow were to roll over, it closed below the 50. Again, weaker. We might get the first cross the rotation zone down. But if we did take out that lows, 45,145, and then a cluster right at that 62.5, 45,915 area. The Russell did officially trigger a double top hitting the 50 on Friday. The invalidation point is the close below 2478.6. So that's the key level I'm watching. The little area to pay attention to before that is 2467 on the 4-hour closing basis. But the technical invalidation point is 2487.6. If it does roll over, again, it would be Friday's lows, and then you have the double playing out. If it does not invalidate the double, the targets are 2363, 2338, 2314 roughly. The VIX, again, this is when we see spikes like this. I like to unravel a bit of hedge, especially the offset, because I like to hedge with options to offset the deterioration. So again, not the whole thing, but on a spike like this, because again, if the tariffs go off the table, could we easily return back to 17 in the VIX? Sure. So the DAX pulling back to the rotation zone, going to be interesting to see this bounce, but again, key resistance is back at 24,630 area. The cash bond market is closed. The futures are still open. Do you see the double has triggered on the notes based off the rush in on Friday? So if this double holds off, it's 113 or continues to play out, it's 113.12.5, and then 113.18 are the two major targets I'm paying attention to there. We had the breakdown on Friday with the yields coming into very key support. The next target, since it did close below 62.5, bouncing off the 75, but 4.016. And there's no key bottoming pattern just yet. Yeah, I can do that, Rick. Just remind me. I'm not going to do it today. What else? We had crude selling off on Friday. Coming back to the key 58.18 area, 58.20 area key support level. Little bounce. Again, this is off. If we do tariffs, there'll be more slowdown. And China with the oil. 56.76. Going to be watching. I mean, this has to do some heavy lifting now. Again, it's scalpy to the downside, scalpy to the upside. we'd have to get above at least the daily rotation zone before I'm interested in anything besides a scalpy bounce, which is about 62 at this point. Other than that, if we take out Friday's low, targets are about 56.75, and then the lows, the double lows put in from April and May. Natty Gas, I was looking for this for pullbacks. Now has played out the double. No bottoming pattern just yet. We might have a %B buy set up possibly for tomorrow. We still have the roll gap left behind. So the double there is over. Gold, as Christoph just keeps plugging along. We had the double play out. New highs right near the next minor harmonic. If it keeps going, 41.33, 41.86 to 42.07. I'm focusing on 4,200. Is there technically a double? A double still technically in play until it exceeds 41.11.8. But I don't think that'll ever manifest. Copper, back to the 50% harmonic. Platinum, looking to see if it closes above this 11638.8 to re-trigger the next potential move higher. Silver, we do have a little mini potential double top. I doubt it'll ever trigger, but that's on there. If it takes that out, 51.07 is the next harmonic there. Dollar index bouncing, little pullback on Friday. We've got the separating rotation zone. We've got still above 98.21 key support. Closed above the minor 62.5. So we still have a magnet price of 99.30. It traded over about 99.19, 99.20 on Thursday. Still, again, I'm staying in bullish mode on gold. On gold. Well, I'm in bullish mode still on gold, even though it's insane. Dollar is still in bullish mode, even on pullbacks, unless we close below the 50. All right. Spiders. Again, gap up. Just put your harmonics on like this. Flip these around. Okay. Key thing for the spiders. 66603. 66603. By the way, pay attention on the spiders to 663.40 on any rally this morning. It needs to close above 66603 to tip the probabilities back to higher. So that's what's key there. By the way, there's still a pretty key support level right around 659 on any pullback. Jake says gold is meme material now. Friday seems like a reflection of market fragility more than any. It is. Again, we're getting more volatility in there also, which is a sign of market fragility. But you still have everybody rushing in to buy the dip. And we don't have, besides momentum being lost and divergences, we don't have any major topping pattern. This bounce, it'll be interesting. Also, the time. Let's see if it starts recovering it today, closing above these 62.5 or not. You have still euphoria running in. The Qs. Flipping around the Qs. Flipping around the Qs up here. We have the key levels. 601.12 is the 50% harmonic. 604.13 is the one that triggers the probability shift. So that's key. Right in between there, you have 602.50, which is now a major resistance area. There's a pretty key support level about 596 on any pullback. It was smashed on Friday, but now we're back above that, so that becomes key again. Bitcoin. If we do the harmonics on this, because again, and by the way, this is the kind of, everybody touting cryptos and Bitcoin. It had a 20% loss on Friday. That's not a stable instrument. Okay? Even how long did it take for the dollar to lose 10%? It didn't happen overnight. Okay, but you had a crypto Bitcoin 20% down. That's all I'm saying. Now we're going to see the crypto bros. A lot of some of them got seriously hit on Friday, but again, bounce, use leverage. That's what Nuff said. Nuff said at some point this will be a massive pain trade for them. Until then, the key level is about 119, 170 for the key closing off the harmonics. Again, coming back down to very key support and finally reconnecting roughly on Friday with the 200. So it's going to be interesting to see if Friday's lows are taken out. Not today, necessarily. Ethereum actually broke to new lows on Friday and Saturday before the bounce. So this is actually breaking down, not reconnected with this 200 yet. NVIDIA, a sell-off on Friday back to bottom of the rotation zone and very key support level, already bouncing back up. Just rush in and buy it all. Russia, this is just rewarding bad behavior, but we'll see how long it continues. Broadcom, look at this. Closing back near the lows and then completely reversing, even opening above Friday's highs. Okay. We are in the weekly rotation zone, and we do technically have a weekly percent B buy above last week's high in Broadcom. Oh, boy. Gonna be interesting when this thing finally blows up. Until then, you got to keep trading. The trend is still up. The trend is still up. Tesla, still not even back to its weekly rotation zone. Tesla actually closed below the very key support level, so I'm watching very close on this bounce for potential rollover plays. Let's go through that this week. Remind me. Let's see. Hood triggered a daily double top. Is the company still growing? Is the company still growing? Not really. It's another just euphoria thing. But it did trigger a double top. It's against the rotation zone. Both on the daily. Would it possibly take it back to the weekly? So this is, again, very aggressive. I'll get to the other one. I know you had another one in there. Not you, Christoph. Here are the targets. First target 194, 134.96. Sorry, not 194, 134.96, 131.81, 121.86. The invalidation point until it hits the first target. The invalidation point goes from the highest high to the lowest low, and then it's on either a close above the 62.5, and this low does not move until you hit the first target. Now, that's the invalidation point. Does that have to be where you keep your stop? No. 149.13 and then 150.71 on an intraday trade through basis. Once this moves down, you can then, the invalidation point moves. Now, for trailing a stop, you can either easier take the new lows, and that's up to you, the trailing. And I'll trail doubles differently based off the setups. If I'm trading something against the rotation zone, I'm much more aggressive with stops. What else did I miss before? Now I got to look through all the comments. What did I miss? There's a stocks. Can somebody put... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Will you put it back in the other stock I was supposed to look at? That's why I asked to put it back in, because it gets lost in all the comments. I saw the Swifty comment again. Hold on. I don't see it right now. Where is it? Again, if there's something I missed, where is it? You got to put it back in there. You got to put the other stock request back in there. Uh, so that's about it. We're heading in the open. Thank you, OD Green. MLTX. MLTX. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Really? Really, Royal Palms? I guess they. Oh boy. Well, all right. This is a biotech. I guess they didn't deliver on something. Uh, Securities fraud. All right. I don't even want to cover this. If something's being investigated for securities fraud, it's already back to its low. I'd walk away. This is a walk away. I'm not even going to do technical analysis on a company under investigation for securities fraud because until that's resolved, it's going to just be it's not even going to follow normal patterns. All right. So if I was in this, which I'm not, and Moon Lake, is that a good name for a biotech? I again, when something like this happens, if somebody's getting investigated for securities fraud, I just take my losses and I'm out. I'm done with the company. I'm done until it's resolved because this could go to zero. And I'd like to scrap something from it, but I'm not in it. So, not even going to bother with it. Sorry about that, Royal Palms. It's again, securities fraud. I walk away from because it won't follow normal rules. Oh, look, gold's up another. Here's the weekly. Again, it's going parabolic. Going parabolic. Oh my gosh. It is. It's trading like a meme stock now. Can it keep going? Yeah. But just be very careful when it gets super overextended. I mean, there's your monthly. So know where your stops are, at least to take something off the table. Just curious to see how this is trading. Again, going in the open, I'm still looking at the 6,700 level. That's about it. That is about it. I shall talk to everyone tomorrow. Again, I was hoping no live stream today, but again, I was wrong. Stocks are open, clearly. Stocks are open and getting juiced. We shall see if the juice can follow through and pay off or not. Until then, I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye for now.